For the entire 31 days of January, I challenged myself to not spend any extra money than what was needed. Yep, I challenged myself to a no-buy month, which basically means I'm just buying the essentials and I'm not buying anything extra because you know what? I probably don't need it. And now the entire month of January is over. I've learned a lot. Was I perfect? Absolutely not. And I'm here to share if a no-buy month actually works and if it's even worth it. But first, if you're new here, my name is Crystalline. You can call me Chris, and we chat all things mind, body, and planet on this corner of the internet. So I hope you choose to stick around. So I started a no-buy month because I actually wanted to track what money I was spending and where that money was going to. I think it's super common that we end up just buying things because it's the norm or it's the habit that we're in. We don't really realize like where our money is going until we actually visually can see where it's going and how it's getting spent. So that was my goal. I wanted to know, where does my money go? How can I save more money? Where can I reduce the amount of spending? Because at the end of the day, I only want to spend money on things I'm actually getting value out of, rather than spending money on things that are kind of frivolous and that I don't actually need. I'm looking at you, the home goods runs, where I come home with hundreds of dollars of little trinkets that I don't even know where I'm going to put in my house. So for me, at the beginning of January, I set some rules for myself. Essentially, I just wanted to cut back on any sort of extras I was doing. I didn't want to pick up any new hobbies because I'm a serial hobbyist. I love trying new things. I wanted to reduce the amount of times that I was going and eating out at restaurants. And overall, I just wanted to stop myself from impulse buying things that I didn't actually need. The rules are pretty simple, right? Well, I found it was a lot easier said than done. I kind of hoped that by actually tracking my spending when it came to a no-buy month, that I would fall into better habits, have a better mindset when it came to spending money. I will say at one point in my life, one of the habits that I ended up cutting off was going to TJ Maxx and Home Goods and shopping the aisles and bringing things home that I didn't actually actively need or find true value in. But really what I found in the month of January is that I actually did kick that habit, and I don't do that too much anymore. But when I find myself impulse spending are on little luxuries these days. I like to go down the beauty aisle when I'm at the grocery store, and I'll end up picking up maybe an extra lotion or an extra shampoo and conditioner that I'm interested in using, or maybe a new eye mask or a hair serum. Those are the things that I feel like I found myself spending money on that maybe I don't actually need. And the other thing is, sometimes in my house, my husband and I, we moved back in May, and every once in a while we get an itch to do a house project that we've been wanting to do but have been putting off. And so in the month of January, we ended up building garden beds to prep for springtime, which is definitely something we wanted to do, but it's not something that was like put into our schedule of things to do. It was more of a spontaneous, hey, do you want to build garden beds this weekend? And I said, yeah, let's do it. And then we did it. Well, I'm not sure I actually cut or changed a lot of habits or even really changed my mindset. I think I really gained awareness as to how we end up spending money. And I think moving forward, being able to track and plan larger scale projects like garden beds or other home projects that we want to do would be better to like put it on the calendar and know we're gonna do one big project a month. And every month we can pick what that project is without it just being kind of a spontaneous thing. So do I feel like my mindset has changed? Yeah, a little bit. I think I'm a little bit more aware of how I spend money, but I don't think any large scale habits have fully changed. It's more just gaining awareness of what I've been doing lately. As far as things that actually changed, I do feel like my impulse control is a little bit better now. Instead of just going down the beauty aisle and picking up those little luxury items, I refrain, or I just browse to look, I smell the scents, and then I move on with my day until I actually need a new lotion or whatever I'm looking at in the beauty aisle. So yes, my impulse control is definitely better. Another thing I noticed after the end of my no-buy month is that my emotional relationship with shopping has shifted a little bit. I used to shop because it would make me feel better. If I was sad, I would go shopping to turn my day around. If I was happy, I would go shopping to reward myself for having a good day. And the thing about shopping is that in the moment, it feels really good. But if you don't actually like plan ahead or make a wish list that can impact what you're spending your money on, I realized that I end up buying things that don't actually serve much function or purpose in my everyday life. And then those items end up becoming clutter that just doesn't really get much use, collects dust, and makes it harder for my life because I have to clean the dust off of it. So by doing a no buy month and just focusing on the things I already have and finding joy and peace with just, if I have a bad day, I'm going home and I'm making a cup of tea instead of going shopping. Or if I have a good day, I'm coming home and I'm starting a craft I've been wanting to do to celebrate having such a good day. I think sometimes rewiring the way that my mind works when it comes to shopping has actually been the biggest benefit when it comes from a no-buy challenge. Because now I find joy in the things I already have, doing activities that are easier for me to do and don't cost or require any sort of money from me. It's really allowed me to kind of like cut the consumeristic nature that I think a lot of us have. So biggest takeaways are my impulse control is way better. My emotional relationship with shopping is way healthier. And the awareness of how and what I'm spending my money on is a lot better as well. So those are the things that did change. And I find those more valuable than the ones that I thought would change that didn't really change, like my habits. Obviously, there were moments in this month that I found a lot harder than others. I will insert some clips of me where I was like, I'm not gonna buy something, and then I ended up buying it anyways. I am screaming for a Diet Coke right now. I want one so bad, but it's my no buy month, so I'm holding strong. So I thought if I just told the camera, maybe that like little itch would go away. It's funny, when I started the no buy month, I didn't think like I would kind of have this sort of itch, considering I'd been doing this for a while now, and now I'm just tracking the financials. But man, when I crave something, it's like I want it, and I want it immediately. And I don't know if that's because social media makes us feel that way, or if it's just because usually I want a Diet Coke and like there's Diet Coke in the fridge so I can open one up. But I did not buy them this week because I'm trying to be better. Anyways, I'm gonna go to the ice skating rink, so I have to get my pass. I can't get a Diet Coke on the way, and I really, really want one, but maybe next time. I broke down. I'm in the Chick-fil-A parking lot, but it is 2 days after the initial video that I did, so I held off, okay? But here I am. I had an ice skating lesson at 1, and it's now 3 o'clock, and I forgot to eat lunch. So my stomach is so hungry right now, so hungry. And so I was like, I just don't even think I can wait to be home. Then I know when I get home, I don't really have any lunch there either. Anyway, so this is just a lesson that I need to plan ahead more. I need to like think through my plan. But like I said, at least I could acknowledge it in the moment and be like, at this moment in time, this is worth it for me to spend money on, rather than just not thinking about it at all and buying it anyways. So at the end of the month, I spent around $2,000 on things like extras, groceries, eating out, getting coffees out, and home projects, which is a very large number. But in the grand scheme of things, do I feel like a no-buy month was worth it? Yes, actually. I think it's really valuable to visually see how you're spending your money. So that way, as you move forward, you know, all right, I spent a lot of money on groceries. How can we cut back? Or just acknowledging that you're spending more money than you anticipated in a certain realm of your life that another realm of your life would benefit more from. So if you're considering doing a no-buy month, I definitely feel like it's for everybody. I don't think that there's a single person I could think in my head that would not benefit from experimenting with this sort of challenge. So if you feel like you're out of control with impulse spending, or you feel like you just don't understand where your money is going and why it's constantly leaving your bank account and you don't even know what you bought that month, and this is totally a challenge I think that you would benefit from. So to answer the question that is the title of this video, does a no-buy month work? Yeah. I do think it does work. I think if you go into it and you put rules and expectations on what you want out of a no-buy month and why you're doing a no-buy month, I think by the end of the month, you can get a lot out of it. I really, really do. And even doing a no-buy year last year where I didn't necessarily track this financials, but I was tracking just my habits of how often I was eating out and how often I was shopping. And then transitioning now to January where I was able to actually take the actual financial numbers and see the visual representation of how much actual like money I was spending on these things. I find benefits in both of those. I think the numbers is kind of a sticker shock if you're choosing to go that route. I don't know if I could have done that for an entire year, but I do feel like even just generalizing and keeping awareness of how often I was spending just last year without tracking the financials was also beneficial. So moving forward, there are definitely things I'm going to be keeping with me, but there are definitely rules that I'm going to be a lot more relaxed on as well. Each month, we're going to pick a home project and be able to execute it. But I'm not going to be as strict when it comes to some of like the smaller purchases. I'm sure a lot of us know right now the world is kind of crazy, whether it's politics or just the environment or things happening in our personal lives. Things can feel really heavy right now. And honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal to pick up a little luxury when I'm at the grocery store. Sometimes I feel like the joy a $15 moisturizer will bring me is worth it right now, you know? It's not like I'm spending hundreds of dollars on something crazy. And I also feel like condensing down how many new hobbies I'm picking up is also beneficial. I think it allows me to kind of hone in and focus on the hobbies I've already picked up and I already have access to get better at those before picking up something new. So is it worth it? Yeah, 100%. I do think a no-buy challenge is worth it. And if you're interested in doing it, or if you have questions or want advice or just want to share your experience with doing a no-buy challenge, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for this little mini series. It's been really fun and really interesting. It's been helpful to have you guys to keep me accountable to actually continue to track all the financials when it comes to doing a no-buy challenge. I do really find this to have been super valuable. And I do really appreciate actually how much impulse control I have now when it comes to seeing something I want versus acknowledging, okay, I know I want this, but I don't need it right now. And being able to have the restraint to not put it in my cart. If you like this video and want to see more things like this, give it a thumbs up. That's how I know that you guys like videos like this. And if you want to see more of my little face, you can always subscribe. I love this community so much. I feel like everybody here is like super nice, and my goal is to keep it pretty wholesome and talk more about things like this. So I hope you guys choose to stick around, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Thank you.